Hello and welcome. As you can hear me and see me and everything, I've had a bit of a meltdown with the old Twitch streaming thing. It seems to have gone very strange. Looks like it's all coming through though, but now. But it took some panicked fixing to get that to happen. Yeah, looks like it's all okay. So this is episode 19 of the Dyson Sphere Program, which I've been streaming across all sorts of days and weeks and platforms. Been over on YouTube and all sorts of stuff. And basically, I think we've kind of finished, in quotes, the game. In that, if we look at the tech tree, every single, apart from this thing here, which is all mysterious, we don't know what this is yet. This is obviously new thing they're going to do. But everything in the tech tree, the tech tree, is researched, except for this mission completed. Now I started mission completed because I wanted to check out I'd set things up properly, but they've only done 9% of it. So the aim of this stream is basically to finish it. Now I don't think that'll take too long, only about 15 minutes or so, because it would appear, unless we have to do this multiple times, and I think we can do it again. I think it's an infinite research, but it doesn't say it's an infinite research. Unlike, say, for example, the upgrades. All the upgrades are done apart from all of these infinite ones. I've not done any of the infinites, so we could potentially do one of them. If and when this finishes. I'd particularly like to do some more of these. And these as well. But these all have the infinity symbol on them, basically. Well, that doesn't actually, does it? Has it there? Yes, got it at the top there. It's at the bottom on all of these ones. Yeah, but it shows an infinity symbol, whereas this one doesn't show an infinity symbol. But yeah, so I've got 9% of the way through, so we'll start that going again. Basically, I mean, my inventory is empty because what I actually been doing the last few sort of hours playing the game was trying to get. We'll go to the other planet. Oh no, actually on this planet, actually I can show you straight off because I set up the whole. Well, I did two things. We're producing sufficient lenses now. These, I think they need to adjust this noise because it's really horrible. This noise. But these are all now using gravity lenses, graviton lenses rather. So they're more efficient, grabbing more power out of the old Dyson Sphere. So yeah, I did that, and I did this loopy. I didn't need to do this. I was just playing about with it basically. But yeah, it pulls in the lenses, so we're getting a lot more power out of the Dyson Sphere. The other thing I did. Oh, it's on I have to go to a different planet. I forgot it was on my other planet. But this is the science up here. So this is where I'm making the white cubes now. Now obviously before this was the main research stack, but now it's chunking away on white cubes. You can see they're not all functioning because it's obviously been on pause for quite a while and this is backed up. But I'm now able to make science in okay quantities. It's not stratospheric, but it's a reasonable sort of production level. Yeah, as I say, it started off at 9. You going to show me the percentage? 11. So we're already 2% in, and it's been what, 2 minutes or something. So we should get that done pretty quickly. And that then, as I say, I believe that in quotes ends the game. That's the sort of end game. The equivalent in Factorio to launching a rocket, I think. But then you've got all sorts of infinite upgrades you could keep doing, and I suspect this one repeats, although I don't know that for a fact. Right, the other thing I wanted to show you is the status of the Dyson Sphere. Basically I added on these upper and lower rows, and sort of in the between streams time I've basically researched all of the things, so I could theoretically build a full Dyson Sphere. One of the things that's been quite interesting that I was quite wondering about was, so this planet obviously is our, how to put it, it's our 100%, 100%. So it starts off with solar, well, wind and solar at 100%. And as I've been filling out the Dyson Sphere, let's see if I can get that on screen. As I've been filling out the old Dyson Sphere, I've obviously been just doing it around the centre, and it's been blocking off the light. So now solar power is down to 89%. And I'm guessing, I mean, I don't know, I'm guessing if we fill it all in, it might go right down. But there are gaps in the Dyson Sphere, so there must be some light coming through. Quite how it's modelling that, I don't know. On whether it is modelling it or whether it's just sort of fudged, I don't know. I have seen on Reddit some people take out the middle. You have to have the middle to start it, so I assume they must take it out. And you can, it's actually, there are actually, like, you can go onto the nodes and you can actually delete them, remove them. So that's obviously what they're doing. They're obviously building it up, you know, to get the research done and then taking them back out again. That's an interesting idea. But yeah, so it's chunking away doing all these. As you say, we're now getting close to 4 gigawatts. And that's with, I mean, most of our solar cells are getting sucked into the, are they, or has it filled all of them in? I think we might be at a point where we're not actually pulling in solar cells. We're still building the, you know, the bits to hold the solar cells on these remaining ones. Oh no, there we go. So there's some solar cells getting pulled in as we've obviously finished that node, filling that in. So yeah, so there's quite a lot. You know, our Dyson swarms are a bit empty. I've been sort of letting it build a bit, you know, building them back up and then building a bit more and building a bit more. I was kind of interested to see ultimately how much power you get out your Dyson Sphere. One of the things I am curious about, particularly on the game, is if you do multiple, because you can build multiple shells, and do you get multiple, you know, to get more power out of it? Because there are these gaps. I mean, a proper Dyson Sphere is actually like 100% of the power coming out of it, but I don't know whether they fudge that to make it more, so you can, you know, play more. Obviously, we could on our, if we wanted to, on our other star systems, we could build all sorts of Dyson spheres. I do know you can, because I've seen it on the Reddit, that you can build Dyson spheres around your black hole and neutron star, and they do produce power, but it's much reduced, because obviously it's just the accretion disk that's putting out light with that one. So you get like 0.9 or something, or 0.19 or something like that of a solar radiance out of them. So yeah, so what I've been busy doing in terms of building is mostly building stuff over on Kaffa. We're oh no, that's wrong button. We're kind of at a stage where will it show me the whole solar system? I can't remember if it does on that. There we go. We've basically used up almost all of our iron. Got quite a bit of everything else still. Although I say that, I'm not properly using everything on my home planet because I got a bit bored landfilling all the sea. But yeah, we kind of used up all the iron ore, and that's mostly what I'm sort of bringing in from Kaffa is iron-based products. That won't show me the totals, but yeah, so that's like building gears and iron plates and steel and motors and what else? Lots of like turbines, magnetic rings. I'm making processors over there, pulling them in. So sort of basic ingredients that I'm then, you know, flying over to this solar system. Let's go and have a look at. Let's get on stream. Let's get into orbit first, and then let's see if we can find. Oh, it's just next door. There we go. Oh no, am I doing it? No, I'm doing it on that one, aren't I? I think. Let's go there anyway. Let's just head over there anyway. So I think I set it up on this planet. This is basically the. here? Yeah, here we go. So must be the other pole though. Yeah, this is it down here. There we go. So basically, this is where I'm doing the whole antimatter production. Ish. This is where I'm doing the. No, well, yeah, no, I got everything here. So basically, what I did is set up a whole array of these lads, and they're set to the photon generation. So, because obviously you have the option of just doing power or photon generation. And again, we've got weaving in and out. We've got the old lenses, so I'm producing quite a lot more of them now. And basically, what happens? I don't fully get this. Why sometimes? Oh no, that's not connected. That's why. Oh dear. Oh, I've missed one. So what I've been doing, just very simply, rather. Oh, I've not got any belts with me. Nuts. Because my inventory is infinite. Because I've been going around exploring, so I just emptied out my inventory and I put a load of fuel and warpers and stuff in it. I've just been flying around the solar system, so I've missed that one. But all I'm doing here is, rather than do splitters or anything, I'm just dragging it across because they consume it so slowly that it's it's not a big problem, as it were. But yeah, basically these guys are making photons. Now they cause them unstable photons, I think. Can I find the recipe? Here we go. Yeah, so critical photons, that's what it calls them. And basically, this is producing a load of them. The scale of it is quite eye-opening, in the sense that you need. I mean, how have we got here? We've got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 28. Was that 26? And they're only sort of trickling out. These are the old photons. See, it's backed up because this, you then use the old particle colliders to turn them into antimatter. So it's all backed up because basically we've got tons of antimatter stored up. Even though this is slow, and these are relatively slow as well. Basically, I'm not. You need quite a lot of production. So this side of it, basically, the making the white spheres is quite slow, and I would need to use up the amount of antimatter because I didn't know ratios and stuff. So using the amount of antimatter I'm actually producing, I would need to I think eventually worked out it would be like 10 times the amount of white cubes, which I wouldn't be able to support with regular science. So I've got so much of this stuff. Now what I thought we might do, just as a capper, is the other thing that I unlocked, and I think I did this on stream last time, was the old artificial star. So I'd quite like to build some of those just to see what that's all about, because I think they're fueled with these antimatter fuel rods. So I think we'll set up that supply chain, because you need to build these basically. So those are all sorts of stuff. It's basically what it's doing, and it's actually how it works. But what it's doing is making these critical photons. Now I'm not quite sure what they're meant to be, but these are splitting them into matter and antimatter. So hydrogen and anti-hydrogen basically. How it's storing the antimatter, I don't know, but it is somehow storing it. And so then what these do, is they basically combine them back together again. So it's a matter-antimatter explosion that's going on, which of course is just about the most energetic thing, energetic reaction there is, basically. So basically, it is sort of accurate science. And I assume this, and I don't know, I mean, it then gets a bit fuzzy to me, assuming this does use antimatter, and that stars don't run on antimatter, they're fusion generators, and of course we've already got a fusion station. So, fudging it a bit there. Right, so, Is it worth showing you my other planet? I don't think anything's really changed over there. I don't really remember even going there since the last stream. Right, we'll fly back though. Oh, just over there. Cool. I do like this pinning thing they've got now. I mean, I don't need to do it now because it's so close, but I like this indicator and pinning and stuff. That's quite a good addition. Right, let's fly over. Oops, wrong planet. Actually, this warp. But yeah, I've been flying around my all my solar systems and stuff, taking a look. Found a water planet. That was quite interesting. Basically, tiny little bit of exposed land, and then everything else is underwater. So to do anything, you'd have to like take loads of landfill with you. And it had loads of the spiniform one, which I think you used to make. Oh, I can never remember the alternate recipes. Do you used to make them? No, it's not them, is it? Or is it? Yeah, there we go. So it's the old carbon nanotubes you make out of them. So we'll charge up, and then we'll go and grab a bit of stuff. Because I just emptied everything out. Let's just grab a bunch of stuff before I left. In fact, it's probably all in this chest here, is it? Yeah, there we go. Let's just grab all of that then. So, what we want to do then is make some of these artificial. Now, basically we need to make these first. Now, those are the old particle containers, which I think that's probably our most limiting thing at the moment. I'm not making a huge amount of them. So they're just annihilation constraint spheres, and they're used in that and that, aren't they? So I could. I'm wondering whether to make them on here, you know, as part of this, or actually to make them somewhere and, you know, bring them in. Because unfortunately, I mean, I said I'm not making many of these. It's a relative sense in that this is. I only had 6, I think, before. But it means that I've now blocked off my sort of, you know, make everything area. So I can't really extend this further. Let's go and find somewhere else to make them. Let's have a look. See. But I don't want to make things in huge numbers. I just want to see what it's all about, how they work. Let's go over here. But yeah, I thought I would cap the series off here, basically. You know, even if you're supposed to do multiple, you know, things of the, you know, mission complete. Because essentially, I think to be honest, I might stop playing the game. Like, you know, I might do a bit more, but it needs a blueprint system. And I know there's mods. You know, you can get in fact, what I said is quite a good mod, but I'd quite like to see the devs version of a blueprint system and use that. And you know, it's an early access game, so it's not like I'm saying it's, you know, broken or anything. It's and they have said they are going to do a blueprint system. Let's put it there. So yeah, so I think I will wait for that. Actually, let's put all this stuff in first. Let's put them in, jump that up, request them. Local demand. Right, so to make these lads, we need some of them, and some of them to make them. Now, are they made in replicators? Yeah, okay. So we'll just do standard setup, I guess. There's nothing. I don't even want too many of these, I don't think. Return circuits that way. Yeah, it's this whole thing, you know, what I'm about to do, the whole putting in yet another identical, you know, arrangement. It's just very, very repetitive. I mean, it can be a bit sort of Zen-like. You know, you can be a bit sort of meditative about it, but generally speaking, it's a bit tedious just continuously doing exactly the same thing. Let's put 4 down, I guess. So there. Cool. Okay, so let's pop some power in. Usually put it there, don't I? Yeah. And then let's flip that to. Oh, actually, let's cap it off at, say, I don't know, 3,000 or something. I don't. No, let's do 2,000. I don't want it to suck up all of my particle containers. Yeah, so local demand, direct demand, local demand, direct demand. So they're coming in, so that's making them. I might chop these off actually. But yeah, I mean they're going in the right direction, definitely. You know, things like these, you know, upgrade things. That's brilliant, and especially that you can do 2 double layer. But that was tedious when I was upgrading everything on the planet. Oh my god. And these, you see, they're great additions. Come on. I guess there's probably very, very few of them, actually. Right, so we got a couple of, what does it call them? Annihilation constraint spheres. Right, so let's go somewhere else and make some of the. Might be able to make both actually. Let's go down here. There we go. Yeah, let's pop it in here somewhere. So I might be able to make both together, but maybe not. So we want them. Now, have we got any? We have discontinuities, so let's avoid that. Pop you in there. And set all this up. I just set this up as a matter of course, really. I guess it could go around like optimizing and stuff, but I just generally just sort of slap them all in. Just for the sake of it, almost. Right, so excuse me. So if we're making, this is the other bit I don't get. Why this is different? Because that menu is different to this menu, and I don't quite understand why. I mean, I get why in the sense that, you know, there are basic materials that it needs to add, but why not have a 0 row? You know, why rearrange everything? I mean, I suppose to some extent it's because there are alternate recipes. Maybe that's why. It's because it's about the alternate recipes. But say if you look at that, it's a completely different ordering for some of them compared to the other, and it's a bit confusing. Right, so if we want to make, you see, I can't find them again. Where are they? So we want to make them. So we need all sorts of stuff. We need hydrogen, protons, those lads and those lads. That's too much for us to actually order in with one thing, isn't it? It is. But we're making them locally, so I could order them in a separate transport. Okay, so if we want to make them, we need hydrogen. In fact, hydrogen I can order up locally as well. It's really the antimatter needs to come from somewhere else. And I think the titanium alloy, I'm not sure where I'm making that actually. So let's make antimatter fuel rods here. And we, in fact, can I reuse that? No. That's unfortunate. So if we put in a local one, that's annoying, I can't. Let's put it there then. If you're going to be like that. And we can use that to order up hydrogen and these things, whatever they're called. Right, so let's send it back that way. And then out here will be the... In fact, if we've got so many of that ingredients, it might be better to do it slightly differently, in that we can... Let's see if I can arrange this properly. That's the line there. Take the first one out. Is that going to work? So if I do... four's too many, isn't it? I'm trying to think, because there's 4 ingredients coming in, but it'll only reach across 3, basically. So we need to have outputs on the sides, basically. So if we have antimatter coming down there, and we have the rods going back that way, then I can also put my other thing here. Oops. Actually, if we put the titanium... I'll just weave them around the back. I can't be bothered to work it all out. So basically, we'll take some from here, the hydrogen around the back, and a bit of them things around the back. Right, set these up first. So that's the output. Oops. Input, output, input, output, input, input, output, input. Oh, I didn't set the recipe, did I? Then things. Okay. And then we want to grab these two. Okay. I'll go on as. Let's do it on both sides, I guess. Not quite sure why I put so many in, but. Wait, I did them the wrong way around, didn't I? So that should be an output, I think. So that's input, output, input, input, output, input. And same again. Hydrogen. And them things. And inputs again. How are we doing on this research? 53%. Yeah, we're going to finish that by the by the time it finishes. I'll just keep going if it does get slowed down because of. See if I can get everything in there. Is that all powered? Yeah. Right, so we need to flip this to demand. I'm going to take that down. Flip it to demand. Take that down. That looks good. And then this wants to be demand. Oh, don't want 5,000 of them. Let's do 2,000 of them as well. And 1,000 of them. Cool. Okay. So I'm sure that's a bonkers amount for, because they take 20 seconds each to make, but these only take 12 seconds. So I've got way more of these than I'm actually producing. But as I say, I bet I'm. In fact, we'll have a look. See. Oh, I don't. Oh no, look. Production's way higher than the consumption. Okay. I guess that's because I'm making the white science quite slowly. Why is nothing happening? Oh, because that's still coming. So let's go and see if we can bump up the amount of those strange, strong things. I've completely forgotten where it was. Wasn't that far away, was it? This is the other thing they really need to do, and it needs either some kind of way of tracing your logistics systems, or some way of flagging these, you know, or colouring them in. Maybe you colour them in. That's it there. So where's that? Over that way. Okay. Maybe colour, you know, a colour coding system like with train stations on Factorio. Not that it really helps. I don't find that. You know, you can colour them in what, you know, as much as you like, but I don't find it particularly useful on Factorio. But you know, you can do full RGB colouring. Say, I find you can just click on the train. It's just a lot quicker. But here, and of course you can click on them. Whatchamacallit, stations, but it's a bit finicky, and you've generally got no clue wherever anything is. And eventually, I guess, you know, maybe you would end up with entire planets doing just one product. Getting confused. Okay. Why have you not got materials? You've not got materials because I've doubled up your connector by accident. Like so. I might as well put some more of them in, I guess, if I'm also going to need to use them for the actual artificial suns, am I? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's put some more in. No. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. How's my Dyson thing doing? No, still chunking away. In case you don't know, anyone watching, or particularly on catch up, in case you don't know how to actually add these, basically, all you do, you have these nodes. Now you can build them in whatever pattern you want. You know, you can literally spam them around, and you know, you can make happy faces in the thing, and all sorts of other stuff, shall we say. But I've just been doing the boring old. This is like the minimum separation, basically. Is a sort of a 2x2 grid. So I've just been slapping these in like so. Having said that, I've got that wrong. You get power at the nodes as well. So I don't know if there's an optimal ratio between the nodes and sales and stuff, but to me it seems like having more is better, because got that wrong as well. Because say you can power. I'll just turn the game off so I can do this. And then all you do is you put these in, and these are effectively connectors. These are like the bracing structures. These also produce power. But what these are going to do is effectively define a shape into which the system will automatically, you don't have to do anything really, other than set up all the production for the materials. So you connect all of these up. And say this is, the most boring way. And this is another thing. It could do with things like, if we're going to have blueprinting, if I'm doing this boring pattern and I'm just happy with that boring pattern, there should be some way of me just copy and pasting it. But then you define this. This is the... I couldn't understand this bit to start with. But this is the shell. And all you're doing is defining areas that the system automatically will fill in. And what happens... basically is the solar cells you've got orbiting around in your Dyson swarm get sucked into these nodes. And we saw it earlier on. Are those going in? They look like they might be going in, the blue ones. And basically they get sucked into these nodes, and then they fill this actual black stuff here is the solar cells. And the basic difference is that once they're in the Dyson structure, they are permanent. So when they're in the swarm, they have a lifetime, and they die off, and you have to replace them. So it's a huge material drain. Where are you going? Blimey. Those are my rockets taking up the components to do these things here. Blue dashes are the solar cells being fired off into these orbits. And it handles it all automatically, which is the bit I didn't twig. I thought I would have to, assign them or something like that. But once you've set those, set those things up, it just does it all for you basically, which is really good. Right, so that's a nice chunk of production. Obviously quite slow because, well, they're just slow. Got one of them for some reason. Cool. So let's head back to our antimatters. Good old antimatter. Now where are you? Was it over here somewhere? Is this it? Here we go. So this is now making you... Oh, I've obviously got one wrong somewhere here. That's useful, the old dot thing. There's a mod you can use to do the same in Factorio, I know. But yeah, it's very useful to see if you've made an error. Oh, I've obviously got an error, either that or... Yeah, that's going the wrong way. Made an error in hooking it all up. Yep, okay, so they're all working. So what we got? We've got camera. I would quite like to see, if I'm honest, can I use that as fuel? I grab some of them. Can I burn that? So if I take that out, oh, looks like you can. So what's it have? It has a 7.5 gigajoule, wow, of energy. 500% fuel chamber generation. Wow. That's gigantic. I mean, this is only 3.8, so one of these, just one of them, would do more than double my entire mech's, storage. So 20 of them is 40 entire bars worth. Wow, that's enormous. Not easy to produce them though. Right. So we'll see how that gets on. But we've set that up, so we now have, I think, the fuel to put in those. I think that's how it works, unless they just run without, fuel. We shall see. But we've got everything there, and we've got the Yeah, I'm making everything there. So if we head back to base, not base, make everything area. And we will have a look and see if we can make some of those artificial stars. I say, I think I might just do it separately, if you see what I mean. We'll just slap down another one of them. Have I got any room in these? I think these are all... Yeah, those are all full. So if we just drag over some of this stuff. That's all we're missing, isn't it? We need... Because I'm making them here, so I can just drag them over. We've got the other stuff, titanium. Yeah, okay. So if we demand some of them, let's just do 1,000 or something. So we got some of them. Why are they not? Oh, I guess I bet I've only got like 50 or something, haven't I? Right, so we'll just put a machine here somewhere. Right, let's give a little bit of room. And we'll make this... No. Let's do it the other way around. So we'll do... Make artificial stars here. And we will drag them in from there. And then what else do we want? We want this. Oops. What are you doing? Them. Actually, did I see... Ah. Yeah, it's them we need, so... Oops. So we will take them out there. Pull them down there. So I just put a little container here for some artificial stars. What are you doing? There you go. And I don't set it on a couple of stacks, I guess. I don't know how big it stacks then. Put that in there. Right, so all we need to do is bring over titanium alloy, which I have a feeling we've got here. Excellent. So I wonder if I can do a thing here. Is it gonna fight me? Yeah, angle too wide. Okay. Because I could do the old-fashioned... Because these are very slow. If we do that style of thing. Yeah, that'll do. Right, so you should have everything you need, apart from those. What's the production like on them? Can I even find them? No. There they are. So it says I'm only consuming 53, so we should have some spare. Why are you not bringing them over? Demand, demand. Have we got so few? I am confused. Now where are we making them? Is it not? So that's the antimatter. Demand. Are we making them that slowly? Whoops. Because every machine looks the same basically, so you end up sort of like blind as to where they are. So that's making them there. It was nearby, wasn't it? I thought it was somewhere down. Is that them? Yeah, that's them. Yeah, it's slow, isn't it? Okay, let's just go and add some more on then. Which... oh, I've forgotten which pole it was. It's over here. Just this way. So it'd be really useful to have actual like markers or flags or... I say even just to colour these in some way. Right, here we go. Oops. So I guess just chuck even more on basically. Nearly there with the science, about 3/4 of the way through. Yeah, there we go. So in, out, in, out, in. Actually, let's do all of these ones first. No, down the wrong way around. There we go. That's even more production. Let's do it on 1 minute. How many we've got? Okay. Let's go and see if it's actually made some. Or at least brought some stuff over. Ah, yeah, looks like we've got material coming over. We do not have any actual artificial stars though. Yet. First one. First one. Right. So how does this work then? So plop that down. Ooh. No fuel. There you go. Now what can you put in? Can you put them as? No, don't put them as fuel. Is it? Let's bring some antimatter as well. Say 500. And then we could pop them in a thing next door, couldn't we? And then say, I don't know, a few stacks. Cool. So, do we put these in? We do put them in. Oh, that's pretty cool looking, I gotta say. So how quickly does it burn them? Oh, it burns through them quite quick, doesn't it? But then 75 megawatts, that's pretty impressive. Let's have a look at... If we look at CAFA... Let's have a look at CAFA. Yeah, so my entire CAFA system, which has got loads of stuff on it, is only demanding 330. So if it's 75 each, 150, 300, so 5 of these would be able to supply my entire CAFA system. So it's certainly worth having. I mean, you'd probably still want your solar and your wind and stuff, but chucking one of them down, particularly on planets without any coal, would be quite efficient, I think. Because alright, these are expensive to produce, but all that's, you know, the antimatter, the only other use for that is white science, so I think. So, you know. So yeah, I think that's probably worthwhile. I think the sound's a bit excessive though, that's really quite loud. Again, not quite sure why it's a star burning antimatter, but looks like it's a loader as well, like the old... No? Okay. So, is it... Okay. I wonder why they've decided on... Because would it not make more sense for this to be like the old power receivers? And that you actually put belts into it? A bit inconsistent with that. Right, so... That's basically the only thing in the game I've not built. I think. I'm even doing somewhere or other most of the alternate recipes. So we've got... I'm using them and... You know, to make the old carbon nanotubes over on CAFA. The thing I think is still fairly limited is the strange matter. So I thought we might not have a lot of them because I don't think I'm making anything like the amount of strange matter I should, and that's because the amount of deuterium I'm making is pathetic. But then I did also find some other gas giants that are have deuterium on them, so you could partly alleviate that by going and collecting it. My initial hunches with this have also proved correct. This is actually quite a good way of... Nilaus, I think, did a... Yeah, it was Nilaus. Did a video talking about using these. Was it Nilaus? Might have been Catherine the Sky. But basically using these charging things to move power around your systems. Particularly when you have, you know, very low coal. If a solar system, set of planets doesn't have very much coal, you haven't really got, and all you've therefore got is solar and wind, which takes up an enormous amount of room. So you haven't really got the power to jump start your system. So if you set a few of these down and use, your Dyson Sphere stuff to power up your batteries, then you can fly them over and use them, discharge them to basically just move the power around. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what else to do, really. I kind of thought this would either take the entire episode, the entire stream, or it would turn out to be so slow that I'd have to do another one. But we're 91% of the way there. Should we go and have a look at the science again then and see which pole is it on? Yep, another one. Go and see if all of our labs have kicked into gear. So they all running? Yes, all the white science is running. But as you can see, the coloured science is only running on half capacity. See how it's not really doing that much, and that's basically because, well, as you can see here, this is like on, I think it's a quarter, I worked out, but it's basically sort of running at 3 and a little bit. So this stack of, how many is that? I think it's 12. Can't remember. One, it's the maximum you're allowed. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Whatever that stack is, it's the maximum, without white science. In fact, I don't think you can upgrade it further with white science, but that's like the maximum stack size. And it's only actually using up half of my coloured science blocks, so we would need another stack as high as that to use up all of my theoretical maximum science production. And that's what I based my antimatter, my photon things on. That's how many I've got to support that. But I'm not actually, in order to do this, I would have needed to tear it all down, because, as you see, I've got the boxes here and all this sort of stuff. And it's like, well, in order to get another stack in, it sort of doesn't fit, basically. So I couldn't be bothered. And if I did double that, then I would only support maybe 8, but probably only 7 actual labs doing the research. So clearly, they clearly designed the game that, like, Megabase is kind of where you have to go, and balanced it, which is, I'm not saying that's a criticism, but and it makes sense. I mean, basically, why give you this entire section of a galaxy to play in if they don't force you to go and exploit multiple stars? Why have multiple stars if you don't, there's no need. You can just do it on one solar system. And there is an option that you when you start the game, that you can put infinite resources. So if you didn't want to do flying around, you wouldn't have to. But yeah, as I say, it's sort of kind of clearly what they've designed it for. And I say that because say, if we look at our thing, you know, I've less than 500,000 iron left. Now, to be fair, I've not been that efficient, but you know, and I've only made, what's that? I know it's not even a fifth, is it really, of my Dyson Sphere. So yeah, to even build a full Dyson Sphere, you would need like multiple solar systems worth. I'm filling because we haven't quite finished. %. I wonder how I am doing with some of my production. Oh, that's on CAFA still, isn't it? Let's just make it on. Yeah, you see 60. And I'm pretty sure it can actually do up to about 100 and... No, it's 120, I think. So it's only really running at half its potential, these coloured ones. Oh, even the strong matter we're not really using a lot of. Why is that? I bet that's solo because it's all backed up, I bet. I'm pretty sure I'm making them out of green science, aren't I? Warpers. Crystals and... So is my crystal production okay? Crystal diamond production okay? Yeah, look. You get these weird... They're not the most useful charts at times because, you know, it could be difficult to trace the production back. Right. The big moment. The big moment. Well, there we go. That was a bit loud.
Congratulations, builder of great civilizations. The primary mission of the Dyson Sphere Program has been successfully completed with your efforts. The energy you provided is bound to make the homeland develop with high speed, and your figure will imprint with every step forward. This cluster has been activated. To remember your achievements, people light up a star in the Milky Way star map. Yes, it will always record your contribution to the forthcoming third-level civilization. Now please rest a while, and then embark on the journey of the Sea of Stars again.
I'm not entirely sure what that means. What does that mean? Milky Way... Light up a star in the Milky Way star map? I'm not sure what that's referring to. Mission completed. Congratulations, builder of great civilizations. You have completed the Dyson Sphere Program. You can continue the game. So, does that become... No, it doesn't. Okay, so that's not an infinite research. Interesting. We obviously have the infinite upgrades. These are all sort of bonuses, really, like proper bonuses. You know, the level the mecha is at the moment. You know, I mean, I can basically fly across half the galaxy without having to, you know, stop and recharge the old battery. So, you know, you could do some of these, but, you know, you kind of don't need to. This one, I think I'll just set it going. Because this, you know, improves our power efficiency, basically. But yeah, things like the, you know, the carrier capacity and all that sort of stuff. I mean, that one's probably maybe one of the more useful ones. I guess that's the equivalent of the productivity in Factorio. And like, you know, if I was to increase the research speed, look at that, 8,000 cubes though, wow. If I was to increase the research speed, you know, I wouldn't need quite so many labs, you know. In fact, you know, these 3 labs, 3 and a bit labs, would eat more than that, basically. But that's sort of, let's say, that's kind of the problem, in that I need more of these, and the research speed doesn't increase the production rate of the cubes, it's the consumption of the cubes it increases. Yeah, okay, so what to do? In theory, there's an hour left of the stream. I don't know if anyone's watching and there's anything you particularly want to see. I say I'm not quite sure what else to do. I guess I could give a sort of a summary. Not, I've kind of gone over it already though. My sort of criticisms are going. They're not really criticisms. They're, you know, things I'm sure that they can improve. Are like that. You know, when he popped up and said all that, then it's not quite understandable in places. It doesn't quite explain things properly through a combination of it being a not great translation, and also I don't think they're explaining the concepts properly. You know, I don't. What does that mean? It's a star has been lit up in the. So have we got a new star? You know, I don't think so. What I think it's referring to is like the backstory, which is the idea that the reason we're here in this star cluster is that back on Earth, basically, humanity is transcending into a. I think it's meant to be like a virtual reality. Like everyone is uploading their personalities to like a, you know, a matrix or a virtual system or something like that. And basically, you're here to build that. Well, the Dyson Sphere is almost like a secondary, in that you can do that research. You can do this research without really building a Dyson Sphere. You know, it's just, it gives you enough power to be able to do it efficiently. Otherwise, we'd have to be, you know, we'd need loads of those artificial stars and all that sort of stuff. But technically, you don't need a Dyson Sphere to make these. You know, in theory, and finish the game. But as I say, the bit I don't quite understand is whether these are meant to represent power, and that you're firing power, you know, back to Earth, or it's some kind of research that enables that, you know, that supercomputer to work. I think it's one of those, but it's not clear to me which. Not that it matters. I mean, it's, you know, sort of irrelevant, really, isn't it? But yeah. So, you know, the text in the game could do with a rework, basically, to make it better English, make it more understandable, explain some of the concepts a bit better. You know, like for example, the Dyson Sphere, the whole thing with the nodes and the, you know, cross beams and all that stuff. The explanations it gives are nonsensical, and it's very difficult to work out what it means. So yeah, so there's that. The other criticism I would make is what I've been talking about earlier on in the stream, that it needs a blueprinting system or a nice copy and paste system or something to stop you having to, you know, lay down millions and millions of well, sorters, as it calls them, inserters, basically. Another thing I would want to see is a better way of managing logistics. So these charts are bobbins. This is it's just bad. Sorry, it's just not good. You know, if I want to see where a problem is, and I'm like, oh, my processors, you know, well, there you go. They're being consumed way faster than I'm producing them. But I don't know whether that's because these are stacked up and like stored somewhere, and it's using the storage, so it's not producing as many because it's eating the storage first, or I'm just not producing enough. And if I'm not producing enough, why am I not producing enough? Is that because I've not got enough machines making processors, or is it that they're starved of resources? And there's no way for me to find that processor production without knowing that it's on a particular planet, or it's on this planet but in this location. I can't like click on a drone and say, right, where are you going? I don't know the routes of the drones really. I can't say, right, I can't, oops, didn't mean to pick them up. Whoops. I can't click on this and then say, yeah, show me the processors. Where are the processors coming from? Oh, I don't know. So it could be very, very difficult to track back production bottlenecks. So you end up sort of just slamming down loads and loads of stuff to so for example, on my over in CAFA, I'm making untold numbers of these products basically. So the magnets and coils and gears, because I don't know where I'm missing anything. I'm just making loads because I know they're basics that are used in loads and loads of things. So I'm just making loads and loads and loads of them, and then kind of just hoping it all sorts itself out. It's very difficult to sort of ratio things up, and I say work out where bottlenecks are and all that sort of stuff. Also, some of these options, I'm sure there's better ways of doing things, of limiting drone range and not setting the load to 100%. I'm sure you can probably do a lot of balancing with that, but without proper charts and stuff to be able to do it, I don't find having these options very helpful. Like the max charging power of the drones, I don't really know what that does, in the sense that it must be limiting the range of the drones. They can only fly so far. But how far is that? How far does 60 megawatts take them compared to 30 megawatts? Or, I mean, you can set this to a bonkers number, 300 megawatts. So what? What does that mean in terms of, how far they'll fly and things like that? So yeah, so it could do with some quality of life stuff, basically. This is another one I don't find. It comes up with these black things, and this obviously means it's empty. It's used up all of this stone, but it starts flashing that symbol way before it's actually used up. Let's see if we can find one. Actually, there's bound to be somewhere. And I don't know when it kicks in, and it doesn't have any kind of explanation as to what it means. Can't find any now. Oh, here we go. So here you go. Oh, well, those are empty, aren't they? Oh, so that's not a very good example. But it'll start flashing that symbol before, and I think it's when it gets to less than 50,000. I think that's what it's showing. Why are you not? Yeah, so I think it shows it when it's less than 50,000, but it's not at all clear. There you go. So that's only 5,000. So why isn't it flashing it there? So I don't quite know what triggers that one. Let's see if we can find a better example. But yeah, it's all stuff that can be ironed out, really. In fact, I'm wondering if they've maybe fixed it, because it now seems to only be doing it on ones that are empty. I wonder if that's been patched. Because you've not got anything and you're flashing. Yeah, I'm wondering if that's been patched. What about here? Oh, there you go. So he's showing that black symbol. 30,000 left. But that's got 16,000 left. And it's not showing the black symbol. So what does that mean? What does the black symbol mean? Because it's not the stacking thing, because that's stacking and not showing it. So I don't know what that means. And you can't hover over and it tells you. It doesn't tell you. Yeah, I'm a bit of a loss what to do. I kind of thought maybe that would take the entire stream. But I guess not. What we could do, we could just go exploring again. See if we can find some other interesting solar systems. I mean, I suppose that, I don't know if that would count as a criticism, but they are incredibly samey. The solar systems are basically all identical, which I don't know that that's a problem as such, as I say, but in fact, why am I don't really need to empty them out. And we'll take some more warpers and stuff. So we got tons of stuff to go. Right, let's head off into the beyond. And then where do we want to go? There is one. I never went to this one here. Just having a look round. Wonder if there might be a glow somewhere to show where Earth is or something. I never went over here. And that's sort of the limit. Well, that's 27 light years. So, let's see. Do we still have that antimatter? We do. So. I'm surprised that final one doesn't repeat, I must admit, because, as I say, effectively the game is done. At least with Factorio, I guess there's the, you know, just for reference, I'm doing a Megabase series in Factorio, because I've never made a Megabase. And the reason I haven't is because I usually get to the end game, I launch a rocket, and then I start to build up and I get a bit bored and I just want to restart. So I'm hoping by doing it on stream I can do the full Megabase, although I haven't yet defined what I mean by Megabase, what scale I mean. But as I say, I'm sort of hoping that I can make that happen, and that'll sort of be the only thing I haven't really done in the game before. But the point I was going to make is once you've launching rockets in Factorio, they're giving you white science, and so you are using more rocket launches to do more of your extra production. Whereas here, all that's left is buffing things. If you see what I mean? You know, there's no, you can't repeat. It doesn't. That science doesn't give you anything in particular over and above the white science that you can already make. So that's dropped us out of warp. See how quickly we recharge actually. So how far was I actually able to get? So we started off all the way over there. So I've gone all that way on the charge that I've got. So as I say, it's not really half, but you know, I could get, you know, to most stars in this sort of area. So, you know, buffing the charge capacity and recharge rate and stuff would make sense if you were minded to, you know, harvest all of your stars. I've been turning the names on when I've been there. So there's only really 2 solar systems that, apart from my starter, that I'm using. There's the CAFA, where I'm doing loads of production, and which one is it? I think it's this Epsilon. Is there a ship there? Yeah, I think it's that Epsilon. No, where are you going? No, it's that Anjitanar. Where basically I've got a gas giant that produces deuterium that I am harvesting all of the, you know, that's fully harvested. So that's where I'm getting quite a lot of my deuterium from. But that's it. I've not, you know, you've got all of these, so you could make oodles and oodles of, you know, I bet you could make 20 Dyson spheres if you wanted. But in a sense, what would be the point? Which is kind of an issue with, I say, Factorio. It's just, in Factorio, you've got so much quality of life stuff to make it easier. From, you know, artillery and nukes and Spidertron to clear out the biters, all the way to blueprints to make, and bots to make your building, you know, so much easier. Right, stop there and head over to you. So look at this solar system. It's the only one in this direction that I've not done. I've done the others. Because this is the star that's near the black hole and the whatchamacallit. Whoa! Missed. Right, and here you go. You see, it's just another barren rock, which is fine. I mean, it gives you, you know, I mean, look, you know, 144 million stone on this, so they all kind of have a place, but visually, it's not massively interesting. I was quite impressed that it has multiple biomes for the, you know, biological planets, the Earth-like planets, but actually there's only about 3 or 4. Is it 3 or 4? I think there's 4. There's a mushroomy one, a sort of super luminous green one, the normal one, and then a sort of, I don't know how to describe it, like glows. There's like a sparkly one, which is what I've got in Kafa. How we do it? So about halfway there. Yeah, it's just, you know, it's just another rock basically. So let's have a look at it. Are these anything interesting? What are you? You're a lava planet? Okay. Again, you know, 100 million iron, 100 million copper. You know, it's just, you know, in terms of having resources on them, they are very interesting. But as far as, you know, volcanic ash is, you know, with sulfuric acid, I've been to 10 of them already. A Gobi, that just means it's another way of saying desert planet. You know, so there's loads of resources here. I'm not saying it's, you know, bad in that sense. So we could nip over to this one. This is the next one I haven't kind of been to over here. But it's weird that, you know, the majesty of exploring a solar system becomes like mundane. because essentially, you know, there's not a lot of variety in the planets. I think one of the other things that's almost a cause of that, and it makes sense when you find out why they've done it, but all of the planets are the same size. I mean, they're not all the same size. Gas giants are bigger. But all of the rocky, you know, all of the Earth-like planets are identical in size. And the reason they've done that is so that that's how they're going to be able to do blueprinting. Because, you know, it means that when you're laying down stuff at a particular point in the latitude, it's identical no matter what planet you're on. So although you've got these discontinuities that mean blueprints, and obviously, you know, I mean, I'm suspicious that because the reason you get these mismatches is because they're fitting in 5 grid spaces each time. So this is 5, that's 5. You know, down here it's 5. You know, it doesn't suddenly go to 6. And they're roughly of the same sort of area, if you see what I mean. So I'm wondering if that's how they're going to fudge some of the issues you would have with blueprinting in Circle. Even to the extent up here, you know, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, oh, there's 6 there. I mean, sorry, no, 5 segments. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 segments. So it's 5s all the way down. So I'm wondering if that's how they're going to do the blueprinting, basically. Right, so let's head over here. Delta Virginis. So you can rename the planets now. So they really are working on it. You know, I'm sure it will fix all of my niggly little quality of life type stuff as they get to it. It's just until they've done that, or at least some of the major ones, I'm not sure I want to keep playing because it's just that bit too grindy at the moment, I say. And yeah, I could mod it, but I just, you know, I'd rather see what the devs version of blueprinting is first. See what I mean. Are we going to make this? We should get most of the way there. I mean, you know, on the positive sides, I've mostly been saying negative criticisms, but I mean, the game is gorgeous. I mean, look at this. This is amazing for an early access game. Where are we going? Yeah, for an early access game, they've absolutely nailed the look. And the tech tree's solid. There's obviously that one unknown path, as it were, but I can't see them adding or changing the tech tree particularly. It seems quite well balanced as well. I don't think it needs tweaks in terms of recipes or anything like that. So just enough power. Whoa, no. Ooh, got an Earth-like planet. Bang. So what's this got on it? Wow, 11 million organic crystals. Crikey. But yeah, it's like, you know, I would quite like a greater variety, I think, as well, in terms of like organisation of planets. And I say that I know why they've done it, for balancing reasons and all that sort of stuff, but they could do it so that, you know, your starting system is, you know, very vanilla, and then as you come maybe further away, or different, you know, weirder types of stars or something, that because there's usually like 3 or 4 planets in a system, and you know there might be one gas giant. I mean, it calls them things like ice giants and stuff, but they're all just gas giants. Ice giant just means it's got fire ice on it. But yeah, so you've got, you know, I would like to see like, you know, maybe 2 gas giants orbiting each other, or a system that's completely made up of gas giants, or you know, one that's got maybe 10 planets in it, but they're all a bit rubbish, you know, in terms of resources, or you know, something a bit more. They've kind of flattened the curve too much, in my opinion. Obviously, you've got your, or like there, you know, like let's see if we can get to it. You know, we've got 1 black hole. Why not have 4 black holes? I mean, look at the size of this and all these things. Why not have 4 black holes and have weird things happen? Or there's no, I mean, from what I can tell, there are no binary systems. There are no systems with 2 stars in. I've said the same thing twice there. Binary system is a system with 2 stars. And there's no, like, I mean, there's all sorts of irregular orbits, and it's like in one of the systems I went to, it said something about a resonance point for the planet, that it was at the 4th resonance point or something, and it's like, I don't know what, you know, what that means in terms of the game. You know, what does that change? So yeah, so it's like, I don't know. You know, it's not bad in a sense that, you know, you kind of know what you're going to get, but once you're at a later stage in the game, to give you more of a reason to do stuff. And it's like, you know, this is the only place you can find the old monopolar black holes. It's the only place you can find the old mono thingy, you know, monopolar magnets. Well, why not have multiple? Have it, you know, better linked, that only blue giants have, you know, spiniforms or something like that. So it gives you more of a reason to go, you know. And there are some things like that. The organic crystals can only be found on, you know, Earth-like planets. Excuse me, sorry. So there are some things like that, but it's not enough, you know. I'd quite like it to be a bit wackier, particularly, I say, starting system, boring, vanilla, plain. When you get out into the solar system, anything goes. Just to give it a bit more of a reason to do stuff. So let's have a look here. See, so we've got this planet here, and that's an arid desert. Okay. This planet here, and that's a lava planet. Again, you know. So what, in a sense? Right, so what I thought we might do, so I'm going to end up finishing the stream early because I can't quite think of much else to do. Let's fly back to the black hole, and we will try the whole bouncing off the black hole thing. Because having learned, you know, this is the flip side to it. I mean, look at that. That is gorgeous. How pretty this game is, and it runs so well. You know, and it does what it sets out to do. You know, you build a Dyson Sphere. You know, that's, you know, it's great. No, don't fly into the gas giant. So yeah, I say my overall thing would be, it's an excellent game. You know, if you like Factorio, you like Satisfactory, and you've got the spare cash, it's not a lot. I think it's still £15, €15, something like that, while it's in early access. Well worth it. You know, get it, give it a go. My tips for, you know, playing the game are, don't carry forward any notions from Factorio of a main bus. Don't try and do a main bus, because it's an enormous amount of effort to, you know, to do something that doesn't really work properly. Instead, rush towards the logistics, you know, the planetary and interplanetary logistics. Do everything you can Here's everything you can to get them done as soon as you can. And it's so pretty. Because I'll show you that if you do a regular fly into a black hole. Look at that. So this is sort of us inside the accretion disk, if you see what I mean. It's not got relativistic effects going on, but you can't fly into the black hole as such. It does do. Can you see the like star shapes flying in? I'm not quite sure what that's meant to be, but it's quite effective. But yeah, so this is us, as I say, inside, you know, the accretion disk. If we were really here, we'd be spaghettified. We'd be sucked out. So pretty. I like that it fiddles about with the sound as well. You lose scale a bit on with the black hole. So that's ray transmission. Cool. I'm not going to start another one, as I say. Right, so let's find the planet. Where is it? And then we'll do a warp in. So I want to go over there. So what you do with the bounce, as I've been told, I've not actually done it yet, so I say we'll sort of finish off with that, is you head off towards the black hole and then you hit the warp and it bounces you off, basically. Apparently. But in like a random direction and stuff. Let's just warp over. So just land on the planet to recharge, basically. But yeah, these unipolar magnets, it's like that. I wish there was more like that, that you could only find certain things on the thing. And I wish that... Ooh. That's a bit weird. I wish that it didn't just make a... you know, more of what you need, that it made something completely unique. But you know, it's fine that it doesn't. It's just it's sort of, I guess that's ideal territory for modding, isn't it? That you know, somebody can mod in new resources and stuff. These are impressive. These. That's a lot. You know, we'd have been through half of our stock, but we've only used up 3 of them. So that's pretty impressive, actually. Or maybe that, you know, more variety could be there if... Because I can just slap down miners on these. You know, there's nothing... I don't need a special miner. You know, so there you go. I don't need a special miner or a special resource to mine these. You just mine them. Right, let's let the power recharge. So we'll blast into the black hole, and then we'll sign it off. The other thing I got to think about is what I'm going to replace this with. If I'm not gonna stream it on Fridays anymore, I do want to keep a stream going on Fridays, so I've got to think what else I want to play. I bought a game, I don't know how you pronounce it, Dorfmantic. It's like a puzzly, buildery type game. It's really relaxing. Basically, you lay down tiles, and the more you match up, the more points you get. But it also sets you, like, so they're tiles with like houses on, water, railways, trees, fields, and then there's a load of special tiles as well. And basically, you know, if you match up 2 bits of tree on the corner tiles, they're like hexagons. You know, you put them down, match them up, and you get points for what you match up. But it also then gives you challenges. So putting us like a continuous set with, say, 120 trees on it across all of the tiles. And once you achieve that, it gives you more tiles. You have like a stack of 50 to start with, and obviously you're using them up. And then when you do these challenges, it gives you some more. I don't know how many more. But it's like 5 or 10, and the challenges become more difficult as you go along. And obviously you get to a point where if you can't fulfill any of the challenges, you've only got so many tiles left, and you need, say, 500 trees, and you've only got 10 tiles with 50 trees on them. You can't fulfill that challenge, and so it stops eventually. I'm guessing you can go really, really big. I don't think because of that restriction, that interaction, you can go infinite, but I'm sure you can go really, really big. And it's about trying to make something. The only thing I would say about it is it doesn't encourage you to make something pretty. It could have done with like an artistic or some assessment like that, maybe, to add into it. But basically, the more of those challenges you complete, there's like special tiles and all this sort of stuff, and you unlock the tiles and you unlock skins and all this sort of stuff as sort of goals. But it's really relaxed. There's no real pressure to it. Just watching the old black hole rise. Right, so let's finish this off then with a quick trip. Can I? No, it's that, isn't it? A quick trip into our black hole at warp speed. We'll put the marker on so that I'm pointing in the right direction. Right, so what we need to do is we need to be pointing at the black hole, and we hit warp. Woo! So where did we end up then? I like that noise, that was cool. Wow, we've jumped 1.6 light years. Yeah, so that was our black hole. So we've been spat out 1.6 light years away. Wow. So what people were suggesting on the Reddit is that you could use that as like a way of having a like New Game Plus, effectively. That you could use. What they could do is they could have the black hole, a bit like No Man's Sky, where you finish the game and you get spat out into a new galaxy, a new version of the galaxy, and basically you could. And this is probably a good mod if they don't implement anything like it. That you could have it basically, you develop some tech, black hole warper or something, and it blasts you into that, and then it spits you out in a new galaxy. And it could be that you could choose the seed again, or it's just completely randomized and you have no control whatsoever. And it would be a case of whatever you could take with you is all that you would have to restart, to start again on that planet. And I guess in theory you could have, or could you? I mean, you could try and walk back again, I guess, but I guess if you walked into your new black hole in your new galaxy, then you would go to some other galaxy. You wouldn't come back here. Or they could do it. You could use the black holes to set up like tunnels or corridors between different galaxies, maybe. That'd be quite cool. But yeah, as I say, given that I've not utilised any of this and I've completed the game, it's all a bit unnecessary, that, if you think about it. It's sort of, I guess it gives you an organic way of starting again. And you could do, I don't know, 1 belt challenges or something, where you're only allowed to take one belt through or something like that. But yeah, so there we are. I guess I'll wrap up because there's not a lot else I can really do. You know, we could crunch through lots of infinite researches, but all that would do is eat through our resources and mean that I would have to do more building. And while that's not unenjoyable as such, it is grindy, and I don't think it makes particularly good streams, particularly not since there's not a lot of people been watching this one. And that's kind of my own fault in that I'm doing it at a time that I don't think is a very good audience time, but it's the only slot I've got to stream today. So yeah, so we will call this series complete, which is particularly unfortunate because I had a really cool thumbnail planned for episode 20 onwards, because I've been doing like five episodes over the same thumbnail. Maybe I'll use it for this episode, but we're one short basically, so I can't use that really cool thumbnail. Oh well. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. I guess there's the old self-promotion bit. Basically, up here, this is my username on Twitch. It's also technically my username on YouTube, but I go by Triggles as well on YouTube. It's also my username for Twitter. If you wanted to follow me on Twitter, you can find me there as well. I have been streaming this on Friday. I'm going to have to find a replacement, probably another building game, because that's kind of where that's my comfort zone in terms of types of games and streaming, etc. But maybe not. Maybe I'll do something else. Weekends, though, I am streaming Factorio, and it's my intention to always be streaming Factorio at the weekends. I start at 3 o'clock. Well, 3 o'clock GMT. We are about to go into our daylight savings, so it'll then be 3 o'clock BST, British Summer Time, which is GMT +1. I hope the scheduling thing auto-corrects for that. If not, I'll have to sort that out. But yes, so Sunday will actually be 3 p.m. BST. I think I'm right. I don't think, because it's Easter next weekend in the UK, so I think it's the weekend before Easter, so it's this weekend. Yeah, so that's everything basically. Yeah, so come back and see whatever I've got on my Friday. Otherwise, feel free to join me on the weekends for lots of lovely Factorio, where I'm currently trying. I mean, what I could do, I could do Factorio on Friday, and I could try and revive my Crastorio 2 playthrough. Maybe that's not a bad idea. Anyway, we'll see what I do. So yeah, so if you have been watching, thank you for joining me, and if you've seen any of this series or come back to it, or fancy watching all the other episodes, then thanks for doing so. It's been good fun. I'm a natural complainer, so you'll see a lot of complaining, but yeah, it's a good game, well worth playing, basically no bugs, looks gorgeous, bit grindy, but they're going to fix that. Some quality of life stuff needed, but that I'm sure that'll come. So yeah, it's a really good game, well worth playing. Yeah, okay, so I'll sign off there. Thanks for watching. Cheers.